If you're over 65 and your feet turn to ice while everyone around you is perfectly comfortable, you've probably been told it's just your age. Wrap them up, put on thicker socks, and stop complaining. But here's the truth most people never hear. Cold feet aren't only an annoyance. They can be your body's way of telling you something about what's happening underneath the surface. Most adults assume cold feet are completely random, or simply a fact of getting older that nothing can be done about. And while some of it does come with age, there are real, specific reasons your feet run cold, and several of them are worth understanding. Here at Build After 50, we went through the research on circulation, nerves, and aging. And today, I'm going to walk you through the real reasons your feet get cold, even in a warm room. What's actually behind it, which ones are harmless, and which ones are worth a quiet conversation with your doctor. And stay with me until the end, because there's one simple at-home observation, something you can check in about 10 seconds tonight, that tells you whether your cold feet are probably nothing to worry about, or whether they're worth getting looked at. Before we get into the reasons, let me give you a simple picture that makes all of this click. Think of your body like a house with central heating. Your heart is the furnace, your blood is the warm water flowing through the pipes, and that warm blood is what keeps every room, every corner at a comfortable temperature. Now, where are your feet in this house? They're the room at the very end of the longest pipe, farthest from the furnace, down on the cold ground floor. So if anything reduces the flow of warm water through those pipes, guess which room cools down first? The feet. Always the feet. And there's more to it. As we age, the body naturally tries to hold on to its core warmth, the heat around your vital organs. And it does that partly by sending less blood out to the edges, your hands and your feet. The skin on your feet also gets thinner, and you lose some of the fatty cushion that used to insulate them. So your feet simply have less natural protection than they did at 40. That's the normal background. But on top of that, several specific things can turn cold feet from a mild quirk into a meaningful signal. Let's go through them, one at a time. Real quick, if this is helpful so far, tap that like button. It genuinely helps this video reach more adults over 65 who've been wondering about this exact thing. And as you watch, see how many of these reasons might apply to you. We'll talk about it at the end. All right, let's get into it. The first reason is the most common one, and it's reduced blood flow. We'll call this the slow delivery. When the arteries carrying warm blood down to your legs narrow over the years, or when the veins that should carry blood back up weaken and let it pool, less warm blood reaches your feet. And less warm blood means colder feet. In plain terms, the heat isn't getting delivered to the far end of the house. Here's where it matters. If your cold feet come along with leg cramps when you walk, or skin that looks pale or shiny, or feet that are slow to warm back up, that points towards circulation, and it's worth mentioning to your doctor rather than just reaching for thicker socks. Now, the second reason is one a lot of people confuse with the first, and that's changes in your nerves. We'll call this the faulty thermostat. Your nerves are what sense temperature and report it back to your brain. When the small nerves in your feet are affected, often by years of high blood sugar, but sometimes by other causes, they can send mixed-up signals. Your feet might feel cold even when they're not, or feel numb and tingly alongside the coldness. In plain terms, the thermostat in your feet stops reading the room correctly. Here's the part most people miss. Numbness and tingling with the coldness is a different clue than coldness alone, and it's an especially important one to bring to your doctor, because catching nerve changes early matters. Stay with me, because the third reason surprises almost everyone, and it has nothing to do with your feet at all. It's your thyroid. That little butterfly-shaped gland in your neck sets the pace of your whole metabolism, like the master dial on the furnace. When it slows down and becomes underactive, something that becomes more common as we age, your whole body runs a little cooler. In plain terms, the furnace is turned down low. The telltale sign here is that cold feet come with other things: feeling tired all the time, dry skin, weight creeping up, feeling cold all over rather than just in your feet. A simple blood test at your doctor's office can check this, and it's one of the most overlooked explanations of all. The fourth reason is also one that travels in from elsewhere in the body, and that's low iron, or anemia. Your red blood cells are the little trucks that carry oxygen and warmth around your body. When you're low on iron, or low on red blood cells, those trucks are running half empty. In plain terms, there's less warmth being delivered everywhere, and the feet, being last in line, feel it first. The clues that point here are cold feet along with unusual tiredness, looking pale, or feeling short of breath doing things that never used to wind you. Again, this is something a simple blood test can sort out, so it's worth raising rather than guessing. Now, here's one most people never connect. The fifth reason, and that's certain medications. Some medicines, including a few common ones used for blood pressure or heart conditions, can reduce blood flow to the hands and feet as a side effect. In plain terms, the medicine doing an important job in one part of your body may be turning down the flow to your toes. But here's the most important thing I'll say in this entire video. Do not stop or change any medication on your own, ever. If you've noticed your feet got colder after starting something new, simply write it down and tell your doctor. There are often options, and that's a conversation for the two of you, not a decision to make alone. And finally, the sixth reason, the one I want you to really remember, because it behaves differently from all the others. It's an exaggerated cold response, where the small blood vessels in your fingers and toes overreact to cold or to stress and clamp down hard. When that happens, the toes can actually turn white or bluish, feel cold and numb, and then flush red as they warm back up and the blood returns. In plain terms, the body's normal conserve heat reflex goes into overdrive. For many people, this is more of a nuisance than a danger, but the color changes are a distinctive clue, and if you notice your toes changing color like that, it's worth describing to your doctor so they can tell you which kind it is. So let's bring it all together. Cold feet after 65 can come from the slow delivery of reduced circulation, a faulty thermostat in your nerves, a turned-down furnace from an underactive thyroid, half-empty trucks from low iron, a side effect of certain medications, or an overeager cold reflex in the small vessels. 6 real reasons, and not one of them is just complaining. Now, here's the simple check I promised you. Tonight, sit down in good light and look at both of your bare feet, side by side. You're comparing them to each other. Are they a similar color, or is one noticeably paler, redder, or more bluish than the other? Are they a similar temperature, or is one clearly colder? Then gently press on a toe for a second. Let go, and watch how quickly the normal color returns. When both feet look and behave alike, and color returns promptly, that's reassuring. But if one foot is consistently colder, paler, or different from the other, or if cold feet come packaged with numbness, unusual tiredness, or skin changes, that's your signal to book a visit. That 10-second comparison is something you can do anytime, and it tells you a great deal. And the everyday habits that help most? Keep moving through the day so blood keeps circulating. Avoid socks and shoes so tight they squeeze. Don't smoke. Keep your feet warm with loose layers rather than direct heat that you can't fully feel. And work with your doctor on anything underlying. Simple and steady beats dramatic, every time. Now, I want to hear from you. Tell me in the comments, how long have your feet been running cold? And does it come with anything else, like tiredness or numbness? Just be honest, because you are absolutely not alone in this. And your answer might be the nudge someone else reading needs to finally get it checked. We read every comment here at Build After 50, and your questions often become our next videos. So tell me your story. And before you go, if this helped, the next video you should watch is right here. It's our deep dive into the 7 warning signs that your leg circulation may be getting worse, which connects directly to several of the reasons we just covered. It's the natural next step. If you're new here, Build After 50 publishes new research-based health videos every week, made specifically for adults over 50 who want to stay strong, mobile, and independent for the long run. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so the next one finds you. And one important thing before we close. Everything we share here at Build After 50 is for educational purposes only. It's grounded in research, but it is not a substitute for personalized medical advice. Cold feet can have many different causes, and only a doctor who knows your history can tell you which one is yours. So before you make any changes to your routine or your medications, and especially if anything we described sounds familiar, please talk to your doctor. They know your situation better than any video ever could. Here's what I'll leave you with. Your feet have carried you faithfully for 65 years and more. Listening to what they're telling you now is simply how you keep them under you for the years still ahead. Take care of your body, take care of your mind, and we'll see you in the next one. This is Build After 50. Keep building.